Okay. And we appear to be live. Good morning. It's Wednesday, and wow, we missed you the last couple days. Stuff. Stuff. So I hope everybody's doing okay out there. I hope the quarantine isn't driving you too crazy. I know it's tough. I'm sure you've already run out of episodes of The Tiger King, which I personally refuse to watch. But, you know, it's we're gonna keep on keeping on, and it's Wednesday, so WTF CNN. Well, I'll tell you WTF CNN. This time around, we I just heard this morning. Looks like Fredo is down, man. Um, and he's got a little deal on CNN where he reveals his worst fear after finding out that he's got the coronavirus.
I am Chris Cuomo, and welcome
No,
to
I don't want to play the video for you. I just wanted to show you that it's there. Um, and I'll probably end up watching this right after the show. But yeah, Fredo's down, guys. Fredo is down. Now,
Meanwhile, his older, bigger, stronger, more masculine, smarter brother is
failing at
battling
life.
battling things out in New York.
Yes, Chris Cuomo's superior brother, Fredo's in every way genetically superior brother, is generally failing. But somehow, amidst all of his gross government mismanagements, failures to prepare for predictable problems, and illegitimate complaints like demanding 30 or 40,000 ventilators, and then it turns out, oh, you've got thousands of ventilators stockpiled that you're not even using. You, it, he's like the elected political equivalent of a toilet paper hoarder. No, you have a stockpile. You don't need to go and take it from everybody else because you already have it. Stop lying. And somehow through all of that, Cuomo keeps saying the same shit that Donald Trump says. And when Donald Trump says anything, it's, oh, he's insane, he's lying, he's blowing it out of context, he's this, he's that. And then Cuomo will say the exact same thing. I didn't even mean to get off on this tangent today, but Cuomo will say the exact same thing, and the media will just stroke his cock over it. The most glaring example that jumps to mind, I saw some articles about Trump mentioning that some of the PPE, masks and gloves and the like, appeared to be being stolen from hospitals. And the headlines read like, Trump floats conspiracy theory about mass larceny on PPE going to supply a black market for masks and gloves, and they said that he accused the nurses of doing it. Oh, funny story. Turns out that shit's actually happening, and it was Cuomo that brought it up first and said and demands that he needs to have an investigation into why there's a bunch of personal protective equipment disappearing from hospitals, and figure out which nurses and doctors are stealing that equipment and then selling it. And it's not like somebody's grabbing an extra box of 10 masks and sticking it under her nurse's cart or whatever. They're talking about like cases and crates of this stuff disappearing from hospitals in several states. But no. Trump's just floating a conspiracy theory. Except, oh, it was in the news and Cuomo was talking about it before Trump mentioned it. It like Tim Pool pointed out, one of the most interesting things about the whole coronavirus thing is because they are so dedicated to the orange man bad narrative. you can see the fake news happening in real time because they don't have enough lies. They're not able to generate new lies fast enough to cover up old lies, and so they're repeating and making new lies which are self-contradictory. It's like they're not even. It's like your CNNs and your other mainstream media outlets aren't even capable of making true statements. Um,
Well, there's the old expression about if you tell the truth, you don't ever have to remember your story.
yeah, and man, I'm a free speech absolutist. I absolutely am. Um, I think the correct way to hold these people responsible is to turn them off. Right. Basically,
Or
nobody should ever look at CNN except for guys like us who are going to point out this is why you shouldn't look at CNN.
well, for so long, CNN was considered the safe choice in your dentist's office, and you know, at the gas stations that have TVs and in every airport around the world and all that. But if people aren't going into lobbies anymore, and air travel is way down.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. That CNN's viewership has been slashed to 4 because they shut down. Nobody's flying, nobody's going to the dentist, and I mean
Okay,
they subject us to this shit at in the VA waiting rooms.
seriously, I want to ask the question though. Okay, let's just go with the premise that everybody at CNN is smart and accomplished, and they've got yeah, I know it's hysterical. They're smart and they're accomplished, and they've got all the facts right there. I mean, like, bam, things are running, computers are whirring, and calculations are happening, and all of that. They supposedly know more than guys like Chris and I. They supposedly know more than President Trump. Like, they're the smartest people in the world. How does one of them catch COVID-19? I mean, in all seriousness, how did Fredo come down with the lung pow sicken?
Well,
How did that happen?
in all fairness, he's in New York.
True, but
So he was at much greater risk than anybody outside of New York, at least in the U.S.
yeah, and that's fair. But still, this is one of the things like Crowder.
Maybe one of his undocumented housekeepers brought it in.
that's a possibility. Oh,
Dare I
yeah.
say a probability?
But it's something Crowder talked about in comparison to all the other late night comics. Like, seriously, I mean, you can't take 4 hours, spend a few $1,000 to just set up a mini studio in the basement of your house.
Not even a few $1,000. I mean, all the extra monitors aside, let's be real. Broadcasting this show at this level of quality, which is dramatically superior to what the pros are doing out of their own homes now. We're talking about a frickin', this is maybe $100 HD webcam and $50 or $60 worth of broadcasting microphone. This is not an expensive setup. This isn't one of our several $1,000, one of our $1,000 DSLRs with the nice big lenses and a secondary sound system and field recorder and all that. No. Okay, so we go shoot a film. When we're shooting a film, a short film, a commercial, a wedding, whatever. We've got several $1,000s worth of equipment on site to shoot something like that. But for this little chit chat thing, I mean the whole operation is whatever computer you have plus $150.
Yeah, my point is,
maybe we go a step further and we have the thing over here that lets us, we have the Stream Deck over here so we can.
How dare you?
Drop some of these.
Oh, Scoldilocks. I miss you.
How dare you?
Goldilocks. I like that. That's a new one.
Yeah, I wish I came up with it. I heard somebody make the
That's
joke
good.
listening to something yesterday, and it was hysterical. I knew who they were talking about immediately.
That reminds me of Moldy Locks. Remember her?
No,
You don't remember Moldy Locks? Oh man,
no.
she was the pretty little college co-ed turned porn star / Antifa activist. But she came out swinging like a bicycle chain at some dude in one of the Berkeley riots or something, and got knocked the fuck out. I mean, just busted out.
Nope. Guess I missed that one. There's no way any of us can keep up with all of the information that happens.
Nope.
But in all seriousness, how did he get infected? Like, now, obviously, Fredo's.
I don't have an answer to your question, so I'm going to have to rely on your speculation. My
Well,
my assumption is undocumented housekeeper.
now, obviously, in reality, Fredo's not the sharpest tack in the drawer. He just has the right last name and can read words real good off a teleprompter. Like that's what it is. Um, but you live in New York City. You know that there is this virus thing going around. Like, are you still taking Uber to and from the studio? Are you practicing the whole social distancing thing? I mean, shouldn't you know better? Because, I mean, it's right there in the upper portion of your website there about Trump finally levels with America about desperate reality of pandemic. And man, I've read that article. It's a bunch of pablum and detritus. It's painful. But you guys are supposed to be the bringers of information, right? You're supposed to theoretically know the truth before any of the rest of us do. So how'd you get sick there, Fredo? What dumb thing did you do? I'm with Chris's theory. An undocumented worker probably exposed him to it. Oh, that's right, an illegal alien who you hire at slave wages to clean your house. That's probably what happened.
I said undocumented housekeeper because that's probably how he would refer to him, but the correct language is criminal alien.
And then for me, what makes this just the true WTF CNN thing is putting aside the fact that 6 weeks ago every major media outlet basically said, "Hey,"
including this one, including Cuomo.
Yeah, including CNN, said, "Hey, whoa, don't panic about that coronavirus thing. It's really comparable to the flu. We're going to be okay." And now, of course, it's like, oh my God, the world has gone nuts and we have to have socialism to save us and all of that other bullshit. But Trump finally levels with America about desperate reality of pandemic. Hey, guys, you're the news. You're the one who's supposed to level with America, not the politicians. As much of a fan of Trump as I am, I mean, he's been a politician for a few years now, and you could take the things that he says with a pinch of salt. It's not an inappropriate response. And what? You guys are not capable of interviewing people at the CDC, or I mean, you're based right here out of Atlanta, the CNN's headquarters. No, I mean, you can't talk to the geniuses over at Emory and get some projections from them. Like it's not a thing. But no, it's Trump who finally, oh my God, bring me the smelling salts, levels with America about the desperate reality of the pandemic. But the truth is, if you're not in the northeastern bloc, you're probably going to be okay. Now, it's fair to say that things might be about to just go a little nuts in New York for the next 10 to 15 days. That's possible. But outside of New York, things really don't seem to be that bad. The county that I live in has thousands of people in the county. We've had 15 confirmed cases. and there are fewer people out and about. There is a fair amount of social distancing that's being practiced. I went on the most recent grocery store run, and I just, if I touched something, it went in my cart. It didn't go back on the shelf. I didn't do that thing that we like to do where you pick through the meat and look for the stuff that's the best deal. It's like, no, 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 no. I'll just take the one that's on top, put it in my cart. Everybody's staying a few feet away from everybody else. I personally am getting so freaking sick of hand sanitizer. I swear I put it on enough times a day where I'm starting to get a buzz over the course of the day just from it absorbing through my skin. And even though I have a job that takes me out and about all over the city of Atlanta, and then there are still certain things that can't be accomplished without leaving my house. I don't have COVID-19. I'm taking it seriously, but this whole desperate reality of pandemic, no. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I was actually going to wrap up some tinfoil to put it on for this part in the show, and then we just ran out of time this morning. But I'm going to do it. Chris, I sincerely believe at this point that maybe the whole thing wasn't planned out from the beginning, because you have to go all the way back to like last October and have some things happen just right. But I do think that once this emerged, the threat of COVID-19, the powers that be, the wizards of smart, whatever you want to call them, however you want to refer to them, they said, we don't ever let a crisis go to waste, do we? We need just the right amount of crisis. And hey, we can crash the American economy. We can crash the world economy. We can put egg all over Donald Trump's face and maybe actually give Sleepy Joe a chance at winning in November.
Except that's not working out for him.
Well, I don't know. Today's April 1st, and it's going to be a hell of an April Fool's Day because it's going to go like this. It's going to go like the Cheesecake Factory, for example, is going to go, yeah, hello. No, sorry, we can't pay our rent today on our dozens of locations. We don't have enough cash flow. We literally can't pay rent. And the owners of these malls are going to go, haha, April Fools. And Cheesecake Factory is going to go, no, literally, we can't pay our rent. And then you have the ripple effect. Because what about like even if you just go to, your mom and pop shops, like let's say you got a baker in downtown Conyers, where Chris lives at, who has decided to close their doors a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever. Do they have enough cash on hand to pay their rent today? And then when all those people don't pay their rent, we think of these property owners as just being these super rich people, and real estate and buying and selling and renting and leasing and all of that is a path to fantastic wealth. While you're in the middle of it, you can't have a dip in cash flow, because if the hot water heater goes out in one of your properties, well, you have to have the money on hand to go fix that hot water heater. Otherwise, you're legally liable for not fixing that hot water heater. But if you don't have the cash to do that, well, then what? And so it ripples outward. Now you're not paying the Maytag man, which is a thing from Chris and I's youth that the kids these days have no idea about. But now you're not paying the Maytag man to go out to your house and fix your hot water heater. And so the ripple continues. Now the Maytag man has trouble paying his bills, his rent, his mortgage. I mean, we're here. We're in April 1st, and we're coming to the point to where I think the cure may well be worse than the disease. And there's this whole thing about management of resources. let's just assume for a moment that the $2 trillion stimulus package was the right call. Well, why does everybody in the country get exactly the same thing? That is a stupid allocation of resources. Most of the problem seems to be in the Northeast. The majority of that $2 trillion should go to the Northeast. You know, if you've got 3 toilets in your house and one of those toilets gets clogged up, you don't plunge all 3 toilets. You plunge the toilet that's clogged up. So, by that same token, well, we're just going to throw money at everybody, even the people who have had relatively uninterrupted lives that have been able to stay home and work from home and continue to draw their salary. I mean, lawyers don't need a stimulus. Excuse me. Teachers apparently don't even need a stimulus. They can conduct class online. They can email you worksheets that you can print out and have your children complete. I know because my kids are doing that. It just, tinfoil hat, man. I can't help but feel like this is all a big rope-a-dope. Pay attention to the birdie. Don't take your eyes off the birdie. Just look at my right hand. Look at my right hand. Whatever my left hand is doing, just don't you worry about that. It's just my left hand, silly.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with you on any particular point. We're not saying the virus is a hoax. Nobody's saying that. Despite what the mainstream media is reporting, nobody has said that the virus is a hoax. Not even the president.
No, the virus is real, but we seem to consistently be having either a massive underreaction or a massive overreaction. There's no nuance. There's no saying, you know, maybe old people need to isolate. Maybe people with a history of heart problems and lung problems need to isolate. And maybe companies need some new policies, like you have hand sanitizer at the door, and if you don't sanitize your hands when you walk in, you get sent home and docked and pay. And you know, there's all of these different levels of things that we could do that don't include we're going to crash the entire world's economy and just write out a $2 trillion stimulus check. I'm sure the feds won't abuse that power at all.
Right.
It just, I'm going full blown Alex Joner over it. It's starting to smell like an attack.
There's that's a whole rabbit hole that I don't want to go down right now because we're already bumping up against a half hour this morning. That's all I've got for today.
Yeah, I guess that's all I've got for today too. But you can call me a crazy, kooky conspiracy theorist all you want. But
Nope. I think your suspicions are reasonable and probably merit some investigation. But we'll get that's all I've got for today. I'll leave you with this.
I thought that's who you were.
uh-huh.
My name is Chris Cuomo.
It's not your name.
I'm an anchor on CNN.
You're much
Fredo is from The Godfather.
I know it was you, Fredo. You broke my heart.
You didn't want to put your face in here. Why? Would fit?
Because that would be like me loving myself. That's what you're about.
First of all, can we just, for the sake of Valentine's Day, can we stop this projection of where I am the one who's so into myself and you are like this monk, like this selfless guy, an ascetic?
Chris,
I am a self-loather.
maybe that's it.
Maybe just better than you.
But in all seriousness, Fredo, you're a bad person, but you're not a monster who deserves to die. So I hope that you recover nicely and are able to go on lying for a living We all knew that this was getting serious when CNN told all its hosts that they needed to start lying from home. And, but we wish you the best of luck. Get better. Feel better. Maybe wash those undocumented housekeepers. Get some rest. And we hope to see you back on the television, lying and trying to stir up a panic and demanding that the orange man is bad while he's objectively delivering the most successful presidential performance in modern history. That said, that's all I've got. Y'all take care. Keep it
wash your damn hands.
Wash your damn hands. And an N95 mask, probably not the worst decision you could make. Good luck, be safe, and stay the fuck home. As much as you can.
Yeah, as much as you can. Meanwhile, I'm about to go take a quick shower and go to work.
Yeah, well, wear your fucking mask, wash your fucking hands.
Yep.
We'll see you later.